Thunderbolts is a 2025 American superhero film and is the 36th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film is also known as the New Avengers. Yes, that little asterisk is key. Now, the comic book version of the Thunderbolts was launched in 1997 as reformed villains masquerading as heroes. MCU planning began with James Gunn was pitching the Guardians of the Galaxy, but he shuffled off after doing the Suicide Squad, spotting the similarity. By 2022, Marvel had locked in the team led by Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, Ghost, the US Agent, Taskmaster, and a newcomer, Sentry, a morally complicated crew who must work together or else. Directed by Jake Schreier and penned by Eric Pearson, Thunderbolts filmed wrapped mid-2024 after delays from the Writers Guild and Screen Actors Guild strikes. In some fun trivia, Florence Pugh adores heights and pushed to do the opening stunt herself. This is of course the one where she jumps off the Medica 118 building in the opening scene. But she was overruled and they went with her stunt performer instead. And then of course there were on-set mishaps. Florence survived a scorpion crawl up her leg, and Wyatt Russell required staples after splitting his head open during stunts. He was back filming the next day, however. Now this film is set in 2027, post-Brave New World. Thunderbolts is the 14th film of Phase 5, and of course also the last before moving to Phase 6. By the end, the team is rebranded the New Avengers, and that little asterisk turns out to be a signal to the narrative twist, teased even in the cereal box spoof poster. Now what sets the Thunderbolts apart is his exploration of deep emotional trauma, grief, depression, and guilt. These anti-heroes aren't just bad guys, it's a story of layered redemption. Sebastian Stan here channels Clint Eastwood's world-weary gunslinger in Bucky's arc, while Lewis Pullman debuts here as Bob Reynolds, or the Sentry, an extremely powerful but fragile figure, and he carries a massive burden from his past. In some more fun trivia, Taskmaster, played here by Olga Kurylenko, was originally scripted to stick around with a deeper bond to Ghost, but director changes after the writer's strike trimmed that down, killing her early, meaning that Olga literally had one line to deliver in the whole film. In early 2023, Lee Sung-jin joined to rewrite the script, reuniting him with Schreier after their previous work on Netflix's series, Beef. Initially, Ayo Edebiri was cast as Defontaine's assistant, Mel, but due to scheduling conflicts, she had to drop out, being replaced by Geraldine Viswanathan. Also, Stephen Yeun was initially cast here as Sentry, but he also had to later drop out, being replaced by Lewis Pullman. Due to having recently played Lieutenant Robert Bob Floyd in the film Top Gun Maverick, Pullman asked Schreier upon signing for the role if his character could be referred to as Robert instead of Bob, but the filmmaker explained that they had to respect the source material. Pullman ultimately gained fondness for the name later on. And if you're wondering where you've seen these characters before, well, Wyatt Russell, who plays John Walker, the US agent, was of course in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yelena Belova was of course in Black Widow, released in 2021, as was the Red Guardian, who of course is also the character's father. And Ava Starr, or Ghost, played here by Hannah John Kamen, was of course in Ant-Man and the Wasp, released in 2018. The mid-credits reveal a drop for the Fantastic Four ship arriving in Earth 616, leading to the Fantastic Four First Steps film, which was of course released after Thunderbolts. Now I found the Thunderbolts to be a more mature Marvel movie, a breath of fresh air from the chaos of the multiverse saga. No more mumbo-jumbo multiverse convoluted storylines that make no sense and have no consequence. Look, it's by no means a masterpiece, and it borrows heavily from the DC's Suicide Squad, a bunch of misfits forced together, led by a tyrannical woman that will stop at nothing to rule the world. But it does dive a little bit deeper on some other aspects. It tackles themes like depression, despair, grief, guilt, and even redemption. Lewis Pullman here as Bob is believable, a slacker slasher with self-worth issues, who becomes the all-conquering powerful Sentry in order to escape his past abuses and drug-laden lifestyle. Julia Louis-Dreyfus shines here as Valentina, charming and cunning, ruthless and oppressive. In many ways, it's her performance that kind of makes the film work, as of course she is the main antagonist. David Harbour here plays the comedic foil that is always present in Marvel movies, yet I've got to say he does it pretty well. His comedic timing is on point, and the way he plays Red Guardian as a very passionate, over-the-top man who can't wait to be part of a superhero team-up, while you can't help but laugh and smile at the character. But the rest of the team, well, I found them underused, particularly Sebastian Stan here, who feels like a roster padding. He's such a good actor, but really gets minimal screen time and does nothing to develop Bucky Barnes any further. And the same must go here for Hannah John Kamen as Ava Starr or Ghost, and Wyatt Russell as John Walker or the US agent. Both are kind of just there and bit part players in this superhero group. Now, Florence Pugh is an excellent actress. She's a great character actor who can almost reinvent herself for various types of roles. But I don't necessarily know if she's designed to be the lead action star of this superhero troupe. Also, I found her hammy Russian accent sometimes really puts you off. For example, why is she speaking English to her Russian dad? It removes you totally from any kind of emotional weight of the scene that they're playing out. And the accent comes off as the atypical sort of Western idea of what a Russian person would sound like. And of course, yet her English is absolutely perfect. And well, frankly, I just expect better from an actress of this stature. So yeah, the film isn't bad. It's better than the last few Marvel bombs, and it certainly tries to have a lot more depth, tries to take itself more seriously and add nuances and layers. But often it still falls flat in the character depth and of course in pacing. Thunderbolts gets a 7 out of 10. And no, it won't be remembered amongst the MCU greats, but after Endgame and the multiverse fatigue, it is a step back in the right direction. It's worth seeing for its mature themes and character focus, even though you find that these characters are definitely the B-grade heroes within the Marvel canon. So what did you think of Thunderbolts? Let me know in the thoughts below. And like and subscribe and hit that bell for more deep dives into the MCU. Thanks all for watching, and I'll see you next time.